Fill strip to clean a Smith & Wesson M&P 9. First thing you're going to do is pick up the gun, point it in a safe direction. Once you do so, you're going to take the magazine out by pushing the magazine release that is on the left side of the gun just behind the trigger guard. Push the magazine release button, take the magazine out of the gun, look and make sure the magazine is empty. Then you're going to pull back the slide 3 times hard. Once, twice, thrice. Now the reason you're doing that is to make sure the chamber is empty. Then you're going to lock the slide to the rear by pulling up on the slide stop, which is either on the left hand side or the right hand side of the gun, just above the trigger guard, and that slide stop will lock the slide open. So you're going to pull back the slide at the same time as you pull back the stop and lock it in the open position. Then you're going to look and feel to make sure it's empty. So you're going to put your finger in the chamber, make sure there's nothing in the chamber, and you push your finger straight down and make sure nothing is in the mag well. Always triple check and make sure your gun is empty. Then you're going to push down on the disassembly lever, which is on the left side of the gun, just above the trigger itself. You're going to push that down. Now there's another lever inside the gun that you can use a pen to take apart. That little lever is a S-shaped hook just below the trigger guard, and all you need is a pen or a knife to push that out of the way. I'll show you that in a second. That's the little S-shaped piece below the extractor. I'll move it so you can see it moving. It's just below the extractor. It'll be listed in the owner's manual and the website, but that's what it looks like once you see it properly. There it is, right there. Okay, from there, you're going to point the gun in a safe direction, pull the slide back, and slowly ease it forward. The slide will come right off the gun. You're going to point the muzzle towards you, because you're going to take this spring out. The reason you want the muzzle towards you, if you lose that spring, it's going to go across the room, not into your eyes. You just lift up on the back of the spring, pull it up, and that's removed the spring. Then you're going to take the barrel up. You're going to push up on the barrel from underneath, lift it up, forward, then back. And you clean the gun from the breech or the chamber area towards the muzzle with the brush first. You're going to screw the brush onto your cleaning rod. The brush should be 9mm or 38-357 in diameter. If you don't have a brush, it's not a big deal, but you're better off with a brush. You're going to spray some cleaner on the brush first, and you're going to push that brush down the barrel from the breech towards the muzzle 10 to 15 times. That's the SOS pad, getting rid of the baked on junk on your pan. So that's what you're going to do 10 to 15 times. Once you're done with that, you're going to screw on the tip that kind of looks like a end of a sewing machine needle. Okay? And you're going to need patches. Patches again are sized. All they are pieces of cotton, roughly 2 inches in square. So you can cut them yourself. You need a little smaller. You're going to put it through so it looks like a butterfly. You're going to spray some cleaner on that patch. And you're going to push that in the barrel from the breech towards the muzzle and pull it back out. It's going to come out filthy. You're going to pull that out, put another patch in, and pull it out so it looks halfway through. Put some more cleaner on it. And you're going to push that in and out again. Now, it's still going to be dirty, but you're going to let that soak for a little while. So now you're going to take another big patch and spray some cleaner on it. And then you are going to start cleaning the recoil spring. All you do is hold it like you would if you're cleaning a bolt and turn it so it goes up, cleaning all the threads. Okay, once that's done, you're going to grab the slide and you're going to start cleaning the inside of the slide with everything you can with that big patch. And don't forget to do the outside a little bit. But the main thing you're worried about is the inside, especially getting these rails, which are alongside each side of the frame. Those have to be done really well. This is where Q-tips come in handy. You want to use some Q-tips to get in there to get that all done. So you're going to see me start using some Q-tips now. All I'm doing is going to soak up those Q-tips with some cleaner. And the first thing I'm going to do is get the rails on each side of that slide. Okay, and then we're going to clean where the barrel comes out of the muzzle at the end of the slide. We're going to get that all nice and clean, and also where that recoil spring is. And we're just going to wipe everything else down, get it reasonably clean. It doesn't have to be spotless. Reasonably clean is the word. It does not have to be spotless. But the cleaner the gun is, the more reliable it is. Reliability is everything when it comes down to any gun. Most important aspects. Now, on the right hand side of the gun, there's an extractor. The extractor is kind of like the hook which pulls the cartridge case out of the chamber. Right there's the extractor on the inside. So what I'm going to do is put some Q-tip and a little bit of cleaner on that Q-tip, push out on that extractor to get underneath it. As you can see, it gets rather dirty. The extractor is basically a leaf spring with that hook attached to pull those shell casings out of the chamber. So get underneath that extractor. And then pretty much that's it on the barrel, on the slide. So we're done with the slide. Now we're going to do the same thing with the frame. For the frame, you're going to start off with another nice clean patch, put some cleaner on it. And I prefer spray cleaners over the dip cleaners, because once you dip the cleaner, the patch or the brush into the cleaner, you start contaminating it. And now all I'm doing is keeping everything and wiping everything down with that patch to get everything cleaned up a little bit. And from here, we're going to use the Q-tips. Make sure you get underneath those frame rails before you do much else. Get underneath those frame rails. And now we're going to use the Q-tips to get in all the little nooks and crannies. Again, getting underneath those rails first. As you see, those rails are pretty dirty. I'm going to do the back rails. Not bad on the back rails, and I'm just going to start cleaning all the inside parts. And this gun really isn't that bad because it was cleaned not too long ago. It's a good gun. Very popular with a lot of my female students and male students. Matter of fact, I carried a M&P 45 as a police officer for quite a few years. So the M&P line of guns is a very reliable gun. A lot of agencies are using them, state polices in some areas. I've used them too. Okay, once that's reasonably clean, now I'm going to go back to that barrel, because that's been sitting for a little while. I'm going to put another patch through, and I'm going to place some cleaner on that patch. I'm going to push that through that barrel. That wasn't quite centered, so that's why I'm redoing it. Now it's a little more centered. I'm going to push that through that barrel and pull that out. All right, so that barrel is reasonably clean now. Doesn't have to be spotless. But the feed ramp right here, the feed ramp is where the cartridge comes from the magazine up into the chamber or into the breech end of the barrel. That needs to be kept really, really clean. So spend some time getting that real clean. And then you're going to wipe down the rest of the barrel. Get that all cleaned up. And now you have a clean gun. So next thing you're going to do is oil it. So you're going to start off with some gun oil. You can buy any brand you want. They work fine. I end up using Hoppe's because it's a standard. You're going to put some oil on a Q-tip. This is not what you're going to see in the owner's manual, but this works very well on almost all guns. So the first thing I do is put oil down the rails. So I'm going to go from the front rail all the way back on one side, then do the same thing on the other side. Okay, now I'm going to put some oil on the Q-tip, and I'm going to do where the muzzle comes out, just a quick pass and quick pass. And then we're going to do a little bit just here, where the breech, that's a locking lug right there. And I'm just getting that done, and then a quick path right here, and that's it. Just a very, very thin coat of oil to keep everything moving. Then we're going to put the barrel in with the muzzle in first, with the teeth up. So it looks like that, this piece. Then you're going to put the smaller end of the spring towards the muzzle, and that's just going to push forward and down. Your slide is now reassembled. Now you're going to put a drop of oil on each of the frame rails. One right here in the center, and just a little bit of residue here. Make sure that lever is down that we pushed down earlier. That's in the up position. Now it's in the down position. So make sure that lever is in the down position when reassembling. I tend to hold the gun in my left hand so I can push this takedown lever down and hold it there with my left hand when reassembling. Now I'm going to put the slide, and it should slide easy right to here. Now I'm going to lock it open just like we did before by pushing up here, and then we're going to lift up on the takedown lever. Don't forget to reach down inside and lift up that lever that you had earlier to disconnect. And now you're going to do a function check on the gun. The first thing you're going to do is check and see the trigger safety is working, and it is just by pushing the upper part of the trigger. It's not working. Point the gun in a safe direction. That's the noise we want to hear. Now the next thing I'm going to do is lock the slide open again. I'm going to put a drop of oil right on the muzzle. You can see the wear marks on that barrel right by the muzzle. Put a drop of oil on that. I'm going to spread that around just a little bit. Pull back the slide and let it go. And I'm going to use the leftover residue right here to oil that part of the barrel, the chamber end. And then you're going to put a couple drops of oil on a patch, and you're going to wipe down the gun to keep it from rusting. This is to keep the gun in good shape. Rust is like cancer to a firearm. The vaccination is slightly oiled rag and a little bit of oil on there. You're just going to do the metal parts. No need to do anything with the plastic, just the metal parts of the gun. And then I just take another patch and take a lot of that oil off, because I carry that gun all the time, or a gun all the time, and I don't want to be yelled at from my wife by having oil stains on my clothing. And you're going to do the same thing with the outside of the magazine. You're going to oil the outside of the magazine and keep that from rusting. Your magazines are stainless steel. They're blackened stainless steel, but they will still rust. So you're going to always make sure you oil the outside of those magazines to keep them from rusting. Once you're done with that, take most of that oil off and you're good. Then you can load the gun up, put it in your holster, and away you go. Thank you very much. Gulf Firearms Instruction, LLC, Stapleton, Alabama, 251-979-2589.